Good evening, welcome to the Circuit de Catalunya. It's Spain, it's race 5, live here. It's NOMEX Racing. We've got a very interesting Spanish Grand Prix tonight, where we're going to see if Tim can put the... he had a good race last week considering his damage and stuff, but can he get back on the podium, and can he get back to winning ways? Or are we going to see one of these extremely fast drivers that are around him push him and finish above him? All will be revealed over the next couple hours or so. As you see the lobby starting to fill up, that's what we like to see. Pleasure to be here, as always, as your host and commentator for the evening. And I hope we have a good time and a good race. Spain is quite an interesting track. Of course, no chicanes in the... well, actually, I'm lying by saying no chicanes in the final sector. There's one at the start of the final sector, but I mean, like, the last corner is just a long sweeping right-hander now. So really good run into the start-finish straight in turn 1. It's quite a high downforce track, even though it's a quick lap, and there's a lot of decent overtaking places if you can get it right. Mostly it's on the start-finish straight, and a little bit less in the first sector. And there's also a DRS zone towards the end of sector 2 that you could possibly make a pass if you're close enough and you get a good exit from the previous corner. But we're about to see what happens. Weather, of course, we could see anything. Most likely to be sunny, or dry at least. But there's a distinct possibility that we could see wet weather, or at least mixed conditions at some point. We saw last week in Austria how that can affect the standings. I don't know who would be favourites tonight. Like, Tim's the obvious one, but there are quite a few, as we've seen previously in this NOMEX Racing Weekend League, that are very much able to challenge for a race win and win races, to be fair. And it's going to be interesting to see tonight who, or if anyone, can take the win from Tim. We can before we start have a look at the current drivers' standings, and it's obviously Tim is currently leading through 4 races. Has an 18-point lead over Reese, actually, I think. And I think there's a bit of a gap starting to open up. I mean, from 3rd all the way down, really to Thanos, who's currently 16th in the standings. The gap between 3rd and 16th is about the same as the gap between 2nd and 3rd. So the top 2 really pulling away. To be fair, they've both had fantastic seasons so far through 4 weeks. As far as the constructors, a lot closer. We've got the Racing Bulls currently occupying first position, followed by the Red Bulls, and then not far behind the Ferraris and the McLarens and Aston Martins. The Saubers still, with a long way to go in the season, have a very good shout, as do the Mercedes. And then the Williams, Alpine and Haas teams, they kind of need to pick up some good points going forward, which I'm sure they can. I'm sure they can. And all will be revealed tonight, and we'll see if any of those teams can close the gap on the top, and any of the individual drivers, of course, as well. Despite Tim mostly, he's won 3 out of 4 races. It's not been as dominant as the race standings would suggest. He's always had to battle for that first position. Very, very skillful driver, of course. There's a good reason he's a multiple-time champion. I think this season more than any, everybody has got really close, and there's not a lot of difference. We're currently 3 minutes past the time. I'm wondering why we're having a delay of people joining. We'll have to see. We're having just a couple of problems adding people more than anything, which fine. We'll have those added and in the lobby within no time. Hello, Mr. Tails. My cat has joined me. Hi. Yeah, good boy. Spain's one of actually, it's up there, probably top 5 of one of my favourite tracks. Quite easy to invalidate your qualifying time or receive multiple warnings. I'm thinking in sector 2 you can overcook it a little bit, and also turns 1 through 3. But we'll have to see how these guys get on with the track limits. Just waiting still on these the latecomers. I'm sure we'll. There they go. There's Kiddo. I think there's a couple more to come as well. don't see Reese in the lobby. That could be an interesting one if he's not there. Sure, Tim will feel a little bit more confident. Reese is his closest challenger both in the drivers and constructors right now. And to be fair, has been phenomenally fast, but it looks to me like, is he not going to be in tonight? I guess we'll have to see when everybody readies up. There we go. There's Fudge in. Reese did have an issue in midweek, so it could be a continuation of that. I've just remembered, so hopefully everything's okay with him, and we obviously want to see him back racing as soon as possible. But just give opportunities for others. I think this race here is wide open. I think there's maybe 5 or 6 drivers eyeing up a race win here. Probably 9 or 10 looking at, I think I can get a podium. Here's Fishy Flopper, the main man, joining the lobby right on the limits here. But yeah, there's going to be a few, I think, that fancy themselves at least for a podium tonight. As people have started to ready up, we're about to see an 18-minute short qualifying session here at Spain. Easily get 3 runs in if you want, just taking your time. You could, I don't know if you could sneak 4. You'd have to be really on it in terms of as soon as you're back in the pits, back out again. But three runs, 3 fast laps should be sufficient for you to put in a good time. The ice one getting a little bit impatient there, spamming the old ready button. I don't know who everybody would think's going to win tonight. As usual, it's hard to look past Tim, but I think King Panda might be looking to get a race win. You got Paddy, Josh. They'll all be up there, but then you've got others as well. You know, I think the whole grid here, we're fancying their chances. They're putting in a good performance. As we move into the load screen then, and we're ready to go for qualifying. As always, before people come out, they'll just sort their setups, their downforce, the brake bias, you know, all that fun stuff. They'll just sort that out before, because once they go out for that first qualifying lap, that is it. That setup is locked in. Aside from, you can change your wings, the downforce on your is it front or rear? I can't remember. But yeah, other than that, you're locked in, so you've got to get it right. Firstly, let's check out the weather conditions here for qualifying. And it's raining. That's a decent amount of rain too. Just going on what I can see in the pit lane, I would say that's intermediate tyres, although obviously I've been known to occasionally be wrong about these things. They do say the rain in Spain falls mainly when there's a Grand Prix. If you're a regular viewer on the channel, this distinctly different to the Formula 2 qualifying, which is just a one shot. It is what I like to call the M&M qualifying. Yeah, you've got a bit of a margin for error. So we've got somebody coming out of the pits already. A couple, actually. Yeah, it's Bill Williams. Itch. And on the intermediate tyres, as I expected. Let's just see what the small amount of spray. And you see the rain is coming down, but it's not that heavy. Possibility that the track dries up late on. We'll have to wait and see. We'll find out in about 16 minutes whether it's dry or not for a run. But well, probably less than that actually. About 14 minutes. You've got to do your outlap as well, of course. So everybody getting out, which suggests to me that this rain is going to get worse. There you go then. Itch about to come around the final corner here. Let's see. No hairpins or chicanes or anything like that. Nice long looping right-hander down the start-finish straight. No DRS, of course, because of the weather conditions. 2 DRS zones here. This one on the start-finish straight, very long, so gives a lot of opportunity for overtakes when it is available, when they're dry. Nice wide line going into turn 3 there. And use all the track. Widen the angle. This is the sensible thing to do. You'll see all the faster drivers in these esports leagues will as much of the car as they feel that they can get away with outside of the track. You widen that angle up, and it makes the turn easier, and you can carry more speed in. And on the way out of the turn, use more track, more momentum coming out of the turn. But let's see what it can do. It's going to be the first one round, so this is going to be a marker, I guess, for everyone else. Yeah, 1:24.8. It's no to Chappie, who's about to finish his fast lap. Oh, he's invalidated there. Craig's putting a 1:23.9. Paddy's still on his outlap, so taking his time. Let's go down to Tim actually. King Panda with a 1:22.8, so the times are getting quicker. Let's see what Tim does. Our championship leader. A 1:22.0, massive gap there. Well, let's see. Paddy is really taking his time. It does look like the track is getting quicker though. Let's see where. I mean, Josh has only just started his fast lap. Probably, yeah. We'll go with Josh on at the start of his fast lap. You can see him go up the whole way round. Definitely a contender for the front row of the grid. Under normal circumstances, this rain might throw in a spanner or two into the works for some of the drivers. Kiddo going 1:24.4. Ace with a 1:26.6, a 1:26.9 for Shane. You'll see in these conditions, as Fudge puts in a 1:23.5, Aiden a 1:25.3. In these conditions, you'll see a real big disparity in the times, even on such a short track as this one. The weather conditions do open up more gaps in terms of the times. Let's see what Josh has managed to do. A 1:23.5, so 1.5 seconds down on Tim, who's currently running first position. Against Paddy. Would the track be getting worse? Paddy's struggling to keep it under control there. 1:23.4. It's a good time. King Pandaria currently in second position. Be on the front row of the grid as it stands, provisionally. Marginally faster. Now 2.5 tenths up on his previous time. So we can only go on the times that we see. But the fact that he is faster indicates to me that the track is not, the track conditions are not worsening. And he's putting a 1:22.0 there. Fantastic second three. And that's really close. Just 5 thousandths behind Tim. He's going to come across the line now. I'm putting a 1:21.6. So once again extends his lead at the top. Fishy Flopper is probably going to be an in-lap here with a 1:23.2. You can see the gap between the top two and the rest is quite large. Let's see what Paddy does. A 1:22.5. Just the third driver to go sub 1:23. Ice one's about just starting his first lap of the evening. I think a few people doing a couple of fast laps. Of course, in the wet you burn less fuel. You could probably get 2 flying laps, and the inters, unlike the softs, won't drop off as quickly. Still looking like there's a fair bit of spray, or at least a moderate amount of spray off the back of the vehicle, as you can see. So not nearing the crossover between wet and dry conditions. This one probably look, as he usually does, will probably look to put in what we'd call maybe a banker lap, with something on the board, and then he kind of likes to ease his way into qualifying. Yeah, 1:23.4, and he'll probably go. He'll go again and improve on that. Fudge, by the way, with a 1:21.9, just the second person to go sub 1:22. Let's see who else is out. Fishy Flopper is taking quite a lot of time out of his lap. Kiddo has just put in a 1:22.8. So looks like track conditions are improving. Got to be careful though, as you saw there from Fishy Floppy. You take a bit too much curve, even in the dry there, can be problematic. But reduced traction in these conditions, very risky. Not the advisable line that he took there through that chicane. Might pay off for him. Tim goes to a 1:21.0. Fishy Flopper with a 1:22.7 up to 5th. Quickly overtaken by someone else there, Josh. In fact, Paddy's putting in a decent little lap here. Yes, a 1:22.0, which is third position right now. Very good lap. Ropes us out. Nice one for that to come into the pits. Aiden's invalidated, and looks like he's having steering wheel problems. Ace is just moving out of everyone's way. You can see quite a lot of traffic. It's an issue sometimes in qualifying here. I decided to come back in the pits. So let's go on more with King Panda then. Almost finishing his out lap, so the start finish line. 1:22.0 is his current time, which is a very solid time. We're looking to make up at least a couple of positions and getting on the front row. And looking back, not a lot of spray at the back end of the car there, so keep an eye out. I'm not sure we'll reach dry conditions before the end of qualifying, but I think the track will quicken up right until the very last second. Let's see through two sectors here. 4/10 up, which was looking about second position, which Paddy has taken, by the way. I think in second there. Pudgy in third. I think King Panda here has got a very good chance of being the fourth driver to go sub 1:22, and that's a very good time. A 1:21.4, 4/10 behind Tim, and the disparity, of course, greater in these conditions in terms of lap times, but I'm very pleased there with a solid second position. I would imagine now that most drivers are going to leave it as late as possible before they come out. There's going to be a lot of drivers come out at a similar time, and that could lead to traffic, and that could lead to problems getting round ready for your fast lap. We've seen it in real life before. You miscalculate when you come out of the pits, and you're not making it round in time. Just Ace currently on an out lap. I'm assuming that everyone else is going to come in. So a couple out. We've got a Ferrari out, which is Josh. We also have the Aston Martin of Fudge out on their out lap. I think we kind of want to avoid the traffic by the looks of things. Haas about to pull out of the garage here. Ace coming back in the pits, or is he? I think he missed. That's the weather conditions. You can see the grass there. It's very, very wet. He's just going to back this up into the pits. So who was the first out? I think it was Josh, wasn't it? That's a DQ for Ace for driving the wrong way, for reversing. Paddy puts in the fastest lap time we've seen so far with a 1:20.9, so the first driver to go sub 1:21. 3 minutes 20 left in the session. Really taking as much out of turn one as he could there. Going inside to outside through turn 3, which is interesting. Turn 4, long hairpin. And again, turn 5, it's basically another hairpin as well. I think Josh has got a good chance of putting this really high up. Have to see though. Haynes has, I think he just joined and then left. He's not quite got the time to put a qualifying lap in, which is, you know, he's probably going to come back for the race. He'll have to start on 15th on the grid. So here comes Josh, and we'll see what sort of time this is. A 1:20.8. Josh has actually got time here to go again. As you can see, has decided to really have a go this lap more than anything. I think Paddy's session is about over. There's Payne's back in. It'll be interesting to watch Payne's try and move through the pack. That's an invalidation. If he's got enough fuel, he could still get round and put a lap in here. King Panda just starting his fast lap. I'm expecting a lot of quicker times coming in here. This could be a tough one for me in terms of times changing. So Aiden there giving his teammate a little bit of a tow, which is a good strategy really in qualifying for teammate. I don't particularly like seeing it in during the race too much. Obviously you work together to finish as high as possible, but I don't like it when like the second driver, with the, shall we say, in a team, holds the whole grid up just so his teammate can get away. But in qualifying, I think it's a very smart strategy. And Josh, currently in P1, has retired from the session. Paddy won't have time to get back out. We've barely got 10 seconds left in the session. So let's see what King Panda can do then. A 1:20.0, that's 8/10 quicker than Josh. So the track has really dried up. It's probably stopped raining, and ooh, let's see what Tim can do. There's going to be some really quick times here. No spray whatsoever, no rain now. It is retired from the session, 9th position currently. Kiddo has finished. Fudge and Shane both done. Tim and Fishy Flopper yet to finish. Here we go then. It's going to be a 1:19.3. That's a very quick time. Fudge has come back into the pits. Ice One has finished. So yeah, that's it. That's going to be the grid, unless King. No, he's a lot slower. So that's the grid. Let's qualify over. That's a very quick time at the end there. You see the track's basically dry right now, but not quite enough for the dry tyre. But it did stop raining at the end. We have a front row now of Tim and King Panda, followed by Josh and Paddy. Excellent qualifying there from Craig, by the way, in 5th, and Fudge in 6th. With Shane and Fishy Flopper there in 7th and 8th. 5th row of the grid for Kiddo and Itch, followed by Chappie and Ice One. And just behind we've got Chuck, Aiden, Haynes, who didn't put a time in, obviously he was very late, and Ace. Yeah, I didn't think it was quite soft. It was probably it was worth the risk, I guess. But yeah, it was still just a little bit too damp for the soft tyre at the end. I think maybe 4 or 5 minutes more, and definitely the softs would have come into play. But as you can see there, that is our grid. That's how we're going to line up for this race. 33 laps tonight, because they are quite short laps. I'd say medium-high chance of a safety car. Hopefully we see dry conditions during the race, to be honest. Or at worst, mixed conditions. I don't think we want to see a full wet race. I think the best racing you're going to see here is in the dry. But unfortunately, that is full wets. There's no intermediates getting put on here. That is full wet weather. You can see how heavy the rain is, and you can see the puddles in the pit lane would indicate that everyone's going to be on full wets. With the amount of rain that's coming down, it's going to take a lot to see a racing line through the water, through the precipitation. And I actually think, even though people will be going slower, I actually think that this will increase the chances of a safety car. Because of the conditions as well, I think you're likely to see, well, you won't see, you'll just have to take my word for it, people running very low fuel loads. Here we go then. We are underway. No parade lap, nothing like that. Straight on the way. Get on board with Craig, shall we? Visibility is almost zero. This is very dangerous conditions for everyone apart from Tim. Tim's in a good, in the perfect position really, because he's not got to worry. Let's get on board with Josh. See quite a bit of spray. He's probably using the same or similar camera angle to what we're seeing now. Most people do, and that would probably mean that, you know, he's got those water droplets on his screen too. It's very tough, these conditions. Definitely see the amount of spray. Payne's up to 8th, somewhere within that. There he is, just in front of Kiddo. Somewhere within that wall of water that they've gone through. Obviously, very, very difficult to see. There he is. Tim puts in the fastest lap, of course. We've got Fishy Flopper in the pit on lap 1. That's not great for him. What's happened there? Kiddo's dropped down a couple of places. You see the 5 of these actually, really close, having a really good battle. It's just gone through on Chappie. There they come. Whoa, sliding as well, all over the place. Look at that, Chappie just throwing it into the corner. Side by side. Oh, hopefully no touches there. No, we're all good. Oh, look at that. Look how wide Kiddo went, but got the inside line here. A really good chance of making this past stick. Side by side through the chicanes. Oh, that's a definite coming together there. Kiddo drops down to 13th. Zero visibility down this straight, by the way. You look at the possible race strategies, they're saying it's full wets the whole way. And these top two, Tim and Paddy, have really opened up a gap here. Paddy's put in the fastest lap of the race. Let's get on board. trying to get a slipstream into turn one. No, he's not quite going to go for it. But he's looking really quick, Paddy, on these tyres. Payne's up to 6th position, by the way. Mark that. But these two have got over a 2-second gap to King Panda. He's equally got over 2 seconds to fudge in fourth. Looking pretty comfortable for these two at the front. Such difficult conditions. They're looking to see if some sort of racing line, if the water is being moved, the conditions are still most definitely wet. Here comes Payne's then. He's going to be looking to pass Josh now, and this is where obviously it's getting more difficult for him. Further up the grid you go, the faster these drivers are going to be. Ooh, really struggling for traction there. Just got to be careful. Go back up to Paddy and see how he exits this final corner. Tim puts in the fastest lap. I think he's had a decent exit there, Tim. The state of the spray. Loads and loads of water to be moved off that racing line still. Back up then to 6th position with Paynes, who has, as you can see, a damaged front left end plate and won't want to change that. Won't want to change his front wing. He won't want to pit in at this point, especially if there's a possibility of a change in the conditions in the future. He will be getting consistent calls from his race engineer, telling him what the weather's like. You can also ask for weather reports and all sorts of different things. You can ask about your teammate, your rivals, all that sort of stuff, all that good stuff. You can ask about tyre condition and engine condition even while you're racing. And you get updates on that. Oh, look at that, how wide he's had to run there because of that wing damage. Paddy again though, fastest lap of the race. He's going to get close and he's probably not going to make the pass. Yeah, he's just sticking behind there. And I don't blame him because they've now, between them, Tim and Paddy have pulled out almost 5 seconds on 3rd position. We'll be right on board with Craig, who's looking to pass Shane. Shane had a very, very solid qualifying. And still running well here, 7th position. Craig trying to send it down the inside, and he has done. That's a nice pass, and yeah, he's definitely going to make that stick. So great stuff there from Craig to take 7th position. The battle at the front though, it's really, really close. Now this is a good angle. You can see they're starting. You see the track slightly darker. That's indicating that water is being moved off that racing line. Hopefully, we're only on lap 5 right now, just starting lap 6, and that's a 3-second penalty for Tim, which it's unusual to see. He's the first person to incur a time penalty out of the whole grid right now. It looks very much like full wet weather still. Right at this moment. We'll have to keep an eye out and see if it improves, but yeah, you can see there's a racing line sort of being carved out, if you like, by these vehicles moving the water from it, but almost as quick as they're moving it, it's being put back on by the weather. Best view for it is here, the onboard view. Looks like the rain has abated slightly, so we've got marginally better conditions, and I think that's being shown by the consistency of either Tim or Paddy putting in a fast lap. Oh, there you go, there's Tim again extending that. So yeah, his tyres may come into play, that they're it's ideal conditions for the tyres, and obviously every lap that he goes round he's using less fuel, but oh, look at Paddy's really struggling to keep under control there. I think his tyres overheating. You can see him going off the racing line, and that's just to cool his tyres down, going through that water, of course, going to cool the tyres. So we might be almost at a point where intermediates could come in handy. Let's check out the tyres. Nobody has pitted in for inters yet, but the way that this vehicle of Paddy is handling right now, and the tyres, to me, quite clearly carrying too much heat, means that intermediates could be a possibility. That's Ace just going off, and whoa, look at that, almost. Yeah, you can see as well, Tim, he's also just going a little bit onto the other side of the track, just to cool his tyres a little bit. This is decent from Painter, definite chance to make this overtake stick. Josh and himself having a very, very good race, a very good battle. Painter, of course, did start 15th on the grid, now up to 5th position, looking to chase down his teammate, but he's got to be wary. He's got Josh just behind, doesn't want to try and overcommit from an attacking sense, make a mistake, and then it leaves him open to the pass from Josh. Very important that doesn't happen. You can see though how far in front the front two are. They've almost completed their lap. Josh has just dropped back a little bit, so we can go back and look at these front two who are having a really good battle. Paddy yet to overtake, but I think he's kind of leaving something in the tank, so to speak. Yeah, it's not even about slipstream. You can see that he's staying off the racing line down the start-finish straight, cooling the tyres down. Still, Tim cannot shake Paddy, so I've just listened for the funny enough, for the sound of the tyres around the corner, if they're struggling or not. Right, Aiden's coming. We've got caution in sector 3. Ace has retired from the session. He's actually DNF'd, so we've got a safety car. Aiden's put intermediates on here. I would imagine that it is probably getting to that stage, based on what I'm seeing, and look at the onboard view from the point of view of Tim. The rain is certainly slower, yet he's coming in. I think we'll see literally the whole grid right now coming in to change tyres. Everybody's going to have to be careful not to exceed the pit lane speed limit. That's it's a silly way to get a costly penalty. What this has also done, as we can see, intermediate tyres. Yep, for the front three. We'll keep this on. We'll see it. I'm sure literally everybody putting on inters. Obviously, Paynes is going to lose out a little bit. The wing change. But yeah, everybody putting on the inters. Loads of activity in the pits here. Bit unlucky for Aiden, really. He's going to make it back to the back of the pack, but yeah, a little bit unlucky in terms of he pitted just before the safety car, so will have lost out in terms of time. Fully intermediate tyres, apart from Kiddo, who's staying on the wet tyre for now. Kiddo did risk. Actually, Fishy Flopper's staying on the wets as well. Does look like quite a decent racing line starting to be carved out here. But yeah, Kiddo in qualifying did risk the soft tyres at the end of quali, and it didn't work out. But it was an intelligent risk, as far as I'm concerned. I think it's worth taking. Now, right now, I'm not sure. We'll see momentarily as the safety car obviously stays out, I guess, for one more lap. You see already people off of the racing line. King Panda's right back in this race. There's quite a gap from the top two to himself in third, and then Fudge in fourth. There's quite the gap between them as well. Paynes actually has managed to hold on to sixth position here, so you'd have to say everybody has got a chance now. Right back in this race. Fishy Flopper's back in the pits. I assume that's to put intermediates on. Here comes the safety car into sector 2, and is it going to come in this lap? Or is it going to go another lap? I think Fishy Flopper will get to the back of the pack actually. By the time the safety car gets round, so possibility that the safety car comes in. I'm not 100% at which point it's going to be in, but we'll see. See, any time now would be indicated. I think maybe one more lap. And I also think that every lap that goes by with these conditions is more beneficial to the intermediate tyre. Not Kid out in the Red Bull. It's on the wet tyre. Probably the last thing that both Tim and Paddy wanted was a safety car, but especially for Tim, With that 3-second penalty, he's obviously going to, right now, with the gaps between each car, he's dropping down to like 4th, 5th position. So a safety car when you've got a 3-second penalty and those around you haven't is devastating at times. Long way to go though. We are currently on lap 12 of 33. You'll see on the inters a lot of faster laps as well, and probably, I mean, there's been a good amount of overtaking. Spain does lend itself to decent overtaking in these sort of conditions, but I think we'll see a bit more as the track gets quicker. I think people will take more risks. So we've got the safety car coming in this lap, so Tim's going to back everybody up as expected. It's a very, very long run. King Panda there with a severe collision, which was a slight touch on Paddy. Oh, has he got damage? He's really moved back. No, he's not got damage. I don't know what happened there. I assume that it was just a slight touch, so they give you the 10 seconds for that. I mean, 10 seconds is a huge penalty. That is, no matter what, that's yeah, not a great penalty. And he's almost been caught out here on the restart. You can see Josh in a Aston Martin sandwich. Paynes is going to look to go around the outside in turn 1. He doesn't even need to wait to turn 1. Makes it through, so the Aston Martin's currently running 4th and 5th. Paynes has gone up into 4th position now. A fantastic restart from Paynes. I think Fudge might have been aware of the momentum that Paynes had on the restart, and didn't fight really with his teammate. Lets him through. He's done well though. He's managed to hold off Josh, almost past him there. As you can see, better visibility here. You can see nothing earlier on in the race. And Paynes is very, very close to King Panda right now. He's going to have to get by as quickly as possible though. Doesn't want to get held up. There's already a 2-second gap between Paynes and Paddy. Tim puts in the fastest lap of the race. I think Josh is going to have a go, make a move here. Also, Paynes is making a move on King Panda, as you can see. Nice clean race in there. Very easy, especially in these conditions, for these guys to get it wrong. No, they did really well there. Josh again right on the back of Fudge, just unable to pass. These conditions do make it slightly harder for the overtake. We'll go back to Paynes in 4th position. Gap ever increasing between the front two and these two chasing. If Paynes can get through, he will start to close that gap and make it more of a front three. Could be crucial here down the start finish straight. Backs off a little bit, compromising the entry to get a better exit. That is a very nice exit. Down the start finish straight now, and he's going to close the gap. You can see, quite a heavy touch there. I don't think intentional. I think misjudged. I think Paynes just slightly misjudged the width of the car there as he was going through. Oh, and again. All right. there's a time, like, once is okay, but you can see he's got through, but, or has he? These two now, side by side, and, a very physical battle, that's for sure. There we go then, Payne's up into third position. 3.1 seconds is his gap. He's going to have to try and shake King Panda, and that's not going to be easy to do. I think Payne's a little bit overly aggressive there, to be honest. Just the wrong side of the line in terms of aggression. There you go, King Panda. Oh, throwing it into the corner. Again, more contact. And if this carries on, I can see it ending in tears for both of these guys, because they're gonna both get frustrated and take each other out if this carries on. And we don't want to see that. We absolutely do not want to see that. That's not what we're here for. As I say, I just think it's just the wrong side of the line in terms of what's okay and what's overly aggressive. Three-second penalty for Josh. Still chasing down Fudge, not able to pass. King Panda's dropped back now, so 1.3 the gap, 1.4 now. So Payne's he's got a bit of relatively clean air. He's not going to have spray from the car in front. Possibility of just catching up a little bit here. Get on board. We can see still moderate amount of rain. We're quite a way off of full dry conditions, and you see how much water there is still on the other side of the track to the racing line. You see where the cars are moving over the circuit. It is getting a lot drier, and that makes for faster laps and closer racing. We have 3 seconds for Ice One there for multiple track limit warnings. I think if Tim's the first one to get one in a race, I think you're forgiven if you get one yourself. He's obviously 3 wins out of 4 this season, and our championship leader. Very, very clean driver, and doesn't often get penalties for track limits. So it's in the fastest lap of the race, and we'll have to see now, as we're on lap 18 of 33. So we'll pass the halfway stage now. The question I think will be if the track dries up, and how quickly it does so. Also, whether we see another safety car could be a difference maker. Also, Fishy Flopper, by the way, he was running 15th under the safety car, up to 9th position. It just shows what having that attitude of, you know, not giving up, and you don't know what's going to happen, and just do your best. As we've got a Ferrari off. It is Josh. He's in the wall. That's very Yeah, he's letting them through. He doesn't want to ruin anyone else's race. That is typical Josh. Very clean driver. Very courteous in his rejoining of the track. Oh, and you see the Red Bull of Kiddo there. Off the track as well, and that's front wing damage. Yeah, front right end plate. You see it there in the background. So these conditions are quite awkward for the drivers. Paddy's dropped to 1.8 back now on Tim, by the way. Tim is really putting his foot down. And Paynes has got the gap to 2.1. He's took about a second out in terms of the gap between Paynes and Paddy. 10 seconds for Kiddo for speeding in the pit lane. That's not what... It's a mistake that is avoidable. The only time you should get 10 seconds for speeding in the pit lane is if you're intending to retire from the race and you're just getting into the pits to retire, which I don't agree with anyway. So yeah, but yeah, I don't think there's ever any excuse to get a penalty for speeding the pit lane. Always been a big believer that I'd rather lose 3-4 tenths of a second going into the pits, slowing down a little bit earlier, rather than, you know, going in too quick and having 10 seconds lost due to a penalty. So here we go, safety car is out, and I think Josh is in the pits, yep, with no front wing. Because it's a safety car, he's not really lost anything here. Fresh set of intermediates, clearly not looking at dry tyre. But that fresh set of intermediates could be a big brain play. We'll see what Tim does here, if he comes in or not. Tim's probably cursing every time a safety car comes out, because it brings that 3-second penalty into play once again. You know, he just, look, as you can see, the gap just over 3 seconds, or around 3 seconds between himself and Paddy, and then it's going to be cut down to nothing again. So yeah, just a bit of a tough one. See a Red Bull in the pits there. Is that Kiddo? It is. It's going to be at the back of the pack. Hopefully got the right tyre on this time. Yep. Aidan got a drive through there, by the way, for those that didn't see, for speeding under the safety car. Both Aston Martins have decided to stay out, which I'm interested to see how that develops. I'm not sure about this one. They're going to be on older intermediates, and they're only going to be marginally in front. Unless they think there's going to be dry conditions relatively soon. You can see that there's still a bit of spray coming off the back of the car, so still moderately or fair to moderate in terms of witness on the racing line. You have to see how this plays out. Is Fudge thinking of trying to back the pack up a little bit for Paynes? Very difficult to do here under a safety car restart, by the way. To just start finish straight, the back straight, the home straight, whatever you want to call it, is so long around here. It's very difficult to just fully defend. I'll have to see what the Aston Martins are thinking here. again, they've both stayed out, so it's not an accident, or a case of, for example, maybe Fudge thinking, oh, I don't want to double stack or anything like that. It's a strange one. Paynes might be quite confident that he stays in front of Tim, and Tim will back up the pack slightly. But it's the difference in tyre age that I don't quite understand why they've stayed out. I mean, if anybody can tell me the reasoning why they would stay out right now, I'm happy to hear suggestions, but it just doesn't make sense to me unless they believe it's going to be fully dry in a very short space of time. But even then, I don't think it would have made a difference. Them coming in now, or well, not now, but you know, a couple of laps earlier when the safety car came out. Still, we're going to see how that develops over the course of the next lap or two, when the safety car decides to come in. Will be this lap. Payne's now back in the whole of the pack up as much as possible before the safety car comes in, and we get the green flag and we're ready to race again. We're still backing him up. He's gone now, I think. Yeah, he's definitely caught his teammate out. Oh, Tim's off the track. Rejoins though. The Red Bull you can see there that's ghosted, I imagine that's Kiddo. Unable to unlap himself. Been very risky with his strategies, and it's not quite worked out for him. Looks like Fudge is trying to back the pack up, in fairness. Some very strong team play going on today. But Tim has got through. Gap 1.5 seconds. So not that much of a gap. But of course Tim does have that 3-second penalty. Those fresh tyres though, I think he'll close that gap pretty quickly. Paddy's the next one that's going to try and get through. He needs to get through as soon as possible. Doesn't want to be left behind here. Able to pass there. Superior grip and newer tyres is probably going to get him through on Fudge here. Yeah, Paddy is through. Oops. There's King Panda going through on Itch. Let's see. Let's go and see Tim, who's put in the fastest lap of the race so far. Let's see how quickly he can close this gap. Already 0.7 of a second. Do you think this was a big mistake staying out by the Aston Martins? You can see barely a drop of rain now. Very, very close to stopping fully the rain, and that will mean at some point we're going to see people moving on to the dry tyre. Side by side here. This is for the race lead, and Paynes has just managed to stay in front. Tim on those fresher tyres though. There you go, straight through. Paynes battling back. Both slinging it through the corner there. Paynes managed to regain position. See Tim. Oh, and that's a big, big touch. It's not the first time Paynes has been involved in an incident tonight. I'm not laying blame at his feet, of course not. I'm just pointing out what I see. And we are with Paddy now, who's managed to close the gap too. Well, these two have been battling. Obviously, he's on the fresh tyres as well. I do think we might see soft tyres towards the end. He's trying the late brake, not working out for him. And it's going to be difficult. Those older tyres, as I mentioned, I don't know why he didn't pit in. I think he's made a huge tactical error here. Here we go then. It's probably Paddy going to have a go. He's going to have a look to try and pass down the start-finish straight. If he can close that gap a little bit more. No Pains is rapid, but as good a driver as you are and as fast as you are, the tyres that he's got on are not going to help him, and it's going to leave him open to being passed. You see he's just about holding on to the back of Tim, but he's going to lose out here. It looks like Paddy's going to get through. Paddy, one of the more cautious drivers in terms of he won't fully risk a pass. Because our people's champion, Paddy, now through into second place. Once again, Pains all over the back. Doesn't want to give up that second position easy, does he? He really wants it back, but there's only so much he's going to be able to get out of those tyres. The difference, as you can see, in 16-lap-old intermediates and 5-lap-old intermediates is very noticeable. With caution in sector 2, I'm not sure who that was, but we can see, look at these four here. It's Itch from Chaffee, from Ice One, from Craig. This is a fantastic battle over 8th position. That will be Aiden in sector 2 there. Really struggled with the conditions tonight, Aiden. It's understandable. Tim's put in the fastest lap of the race so far. Itch gets 3 seconds. And that's... that'll be Paddy... not Paddy, sorry. That'll be Chappie. Absolutely licking his lips. And he'll be loving that. Because everyone behind him has got penalties and he hasn't. There you go then. You can see Ice One's gone through. And he's up to 9th position. Josh up to 10th. Bit of a disaster. Wing damage, and he's had to change the wing, but now up to 10th. Fishy Flopper, by the way, as we saw earlier in the race, was running in 15th position, now up to 6th. Caution in sector 2. I think Fudge has got damage. Yep, front right end plate damage for Fudge. On the old tyres as well, so losing out. And that's another safety car. That's the 3rd safety car of the evening. You can see Itch has failed to complete the race, and that's his race done now. Craig ignoring the yellow flag there, getting 10 seconds. A bit naughty. They're not coming in yet for dry tyres. It's definitely not the time. For people that don't know, a general indicator of when it's time to put on those dry tyres is when we get the announcement that DRS is enabled. As that can be very important. As King Panda's got a drive-through penalty there. He's speeding under the safety car. Very costly. Remember, he was running in 3rd position for much of the early part of this race. and now down to 9th. Craig's going to come in and he's probably going to take that 10 seconds, getting down to just a 3-second penalty. He knows that he's going to be at the back of the pack, but he'll have 10 seconds less. More intermediates, definitely not at the stage for dry tyre. Looks like the rain has fully stopped here. Coming up to just 5 laps to go. I wonder if anybody will take the risk and put a dry tyre on. There's still a bit of spray there. You can see that not dry conditions yet. Oh, Paddy has decided to come in, which I'm kind of surprised about. Just because I feel like he's got the softs on, he's got the dry tyre, the soft tyre on. I just feel like he could just react to Tim, with Tim having that 3 seconds and still win the race. So this is a massive call from the Mercedes team. This could go horribly, horribly wrong, or it could be the biggest of big brain strategies here. He has still got to get through the pack as well, though, and that's what I'm not sure about. You see still a decent amount of spray. I think Paddy right there and then has won himself the race, or he's cost himself a podium. The thing is, because Tim was still out on the inters, all he has to do is follow Tim there, and he's won the race because of Tim's 3 seconds. I understand that he's got a soft tyre, he's willing to risk it and stuff. I just don't feel it was necessary at this point in time, and we'll have to see if I'm proven right or wrong. Find out momentarily if the safety car comes in, which I imagine it will. And there'll be 4 laps of racing. Let's see. No, the safety car staying out for another lap. That's probably to Paddy's advantage. This track dries up even more. This has to be the final lap of this safety car, I would imagine. Because we'll only have 3 laps left when it goes in. Josh has come into the pits once again. I'm going to assume to put on... Oh, Craig's gone on the soft tyre too. I think Josh is sticking with intermediates. So, mixed strategy here. I'm saying right now that the change to softs could be a massive call to the benefit of Paddy and Craig too. But in Paddy's case especially, I feel like it could have cost him a race win. If he's on equal standing to everyone else in terms of his tyres, we know he's got better tyres than Payne's, just because of the age of Payne's tyres. I don't know. But it has dried up very quickly. No spray now. Yeah, that's a fully dry track, I believe. Safety car in this lap. And I think we'll get 1 lap of DRS at the end here as well. He's got to make his move really quick though, Paddy. He's got to get through first 5 or 6. like almost immediately, like through one or two at max sectors, and then really go for it until the end. The soft tyre is going to be superior right now, I believe, and by quite a margin. I think it's a case of whether there's enough time for Paddy to make these positions up. Currently running 10th. So the restart. There we go. There goes Tim. A decent restart. Nobody caught out. Fishy Flopper in 4th, by the way. Looking to put it on Chuck here and take 3rd position. Chuck up to into 3rd, by the way. He's really good growth. So Paddy not able to make up any positions yet. Oh, he's struggling for traction, and looks like Josh might get through. It's going to be close. Yeah, Josh has got through. Really struggling for grip here, Paddy. This could be, yeah, I think it might have been a mistake. I expected now, as you look at the track, maybe that the softs would be the superior tyre, but he's having real problems here. And it could be that was the wrong call, totally the wrong call. As he further up is King Panda on the back of Chappie. You see Kiddo there, that's the car that's ghosting because he's being lapped. Whoa, we've got Shane in the wall, and someone else went off with him. I don't know who it was. Tim with a 1:20.1, fastest lap of the race. So Paddy's up to 9th. He's got a bit of track in front of him now. His DRS is enabled. He's got 2 laps in which to make up as many positions as possible. He's got a 2.4 second gap, which is now closing. You can see now the dry tyre, as long as the grip's there through the corners, which it kind of is, but he's still struggling a little bit. Definitely in a straight line, he's a lot faster. It's through these more tight technical sections of the track. 2.1 the gap. Ice one with a 3-second penalty. Right now it's going to be Paynes that wins the race. Due to that 3 seconds that Tim got. No safety cars not helping him out at all. Now Paddy's got the gap down to 1.5. Looking really quick. He needs the DRS on the last lap. I don't think he's going to be able to make all these positions up. King Panda there with a 3-second penalty for multiple warnings. I guess he's just going to stay out until the end and not take the drive through. He's able to do that, by the way, I believe. He'd probably get disqualified, actually, at the end of the race. Another fastest lap put in by Tim. Last lap of the race then. Here comes Paddy. DRS enabled. Now he's going to start making moves. King Panda out. He's left the session. You see he's pulled over there to the side. No chance of a safety car this late in the race. Here he comes then. Paddy looking to make up. Oh, look at that. He's thrown it into the corner. 1.5 seconds the gap between himself and Fishy Flop. He's still struggling in the in that first sector with the fast sweeping corners. Gap back down then. Look at that, down to 5/10. Definitely at the end there, this soft tyre doing real work, but probably shouldn't have changed just because it's certainly cost him a podium. Some hard defending from Fishy Flopper. Let's go up to the front then. As you see, Paddy actually has gone through. Fishy Flopper really struggling for traction. Intermediates not working at all, but we see Tim about to cross the line in first position. Gap only 2 seconds though, so he's going to drop down to second. Paynes takes the race win. Chuck will take the final podium position. Fudge in 4th, Chappie 5th. Paddy not quite able to get 6th. Fishy Flopper get 5th, sorry, will finish 6th. Fishy Flopper and Ice One, they're in the Saubers with good finishes too. Paddy there with a tactical error, you must say. Yes, He was really quick on that last lap. He could have done with the race being 2 or 3 laps longer, but he wasn't, and that is a pretty big error there from the McLaren team in terms of the strategy. But there we go, Payne's on the top spot there. He's going to take home that big trophy. First position, that 3 seconds cost him massively there, and well, there we go. Aston Martin driver celebrating. Of course, all results are pending steward's investigation post-race. But as it stands, look at that. Payne's 15th to first. Tim in second. Chuck in third there. An absolutely outstanding race. Paddy, disappointing though. Didn't even manage to get the fast lap in the end. Yeah, it was a not a great call there. And not one you normally get from Paddy. I understand his reasoning behind it. I just don't think it was the right call, and obviously the result backs me up on that. So that is it from Spain. What a race that was. Fantastic stuff. We've got to get a driver of the day in, and I think I'm going to give it to Chuck. That's for sure. Up to third position, a fantastic, well-earned podium from the Haas driver. And as for the team of the day, probably the Aston Martins. Doing really well today. But that's all. And next week, I'm going to just check, because I know there's some sort of special event next week, and I just cannot for the life of me remember what it is. It's reverse grid time. So, in order of the championship, in reverse will be the grid, no qualifying, straight into the race, and it's from Belgium, which that's going to be a very, very good race for us. But that's it then for tonight. I'd like to thank Ice One, as always, for getting me in and doing to do the commentary, and Ace for allowing me to be the commentator in this league. Also, before I go, I hope everyone has a fantastic week, and hopefully tune in on Wednesday for the Formula 2, and because it's midweek, maybe if you're working or whatever, obviously that's fine. You always see the streams afterwards too. But hopefully we'll see you next weekend for Belgium. Reverse grid, as I mentioned, which always makes for a fascinating watch. So yeah, have a fantastic week, and I'll see you next Sunday, same time, same place, for the Belgian Grand Prix.